Hope, and her name is Lisa, and she's wonderful, and she's our operations coordinator. So you'll probably be hearing from her more, but she's kind of like a role like Christina, like a lot of behind the scenes, and you may not see her face a lot, but you'll see her name and lots of messages. Um, so I thought we would start with so we are recording, and thank you guys so much for being willing to be recorded. My hope is that we will be able to, capture some of your thoughts, like those of you who are in the program and experiencing it as scholars, so that other potential scholars can learn about the program and kind of know that they have a resource in you also if they are interested in applying. So who is here tonight? So this is me. I'm Lindsay. I'm the director of programming, which means that I kind of oversee the whole operation here at Generation Hope in New Orleans. And then our Hope coach, Mike, is not able to be here tonight. He is ill, but he sends his regards. And then Pia, she's our operations coordinator. Pia, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say anything about yourself to the crowd?
Hi, everybody. As Lindsay said, I'm new here, but it's been great so far. I'm happy to be here this evening and be a part of this cute presentation. And if anybody have any questions or just need me for anything, please feel free to email me. I'll put it in the chat.
Great, thank you. And then we have Treasure Johnson here. So Treasure, will you say hi and tell us where you're going to school, what you're studying, and just a little bit about your baby?
Yeah, my name is Treasure Johnson. I graduated from Abramson, class of 2022. I currently attend Delgado Community College for radiology technology, but next semester I'm planning to switch to Southern University in New Orleans for nursing. My baby's 1 year old, and she just had a birthday in January.
Congrats and happy birthday. Thank you. And Tayel, will you say hi? Same questions?
Hi, I'm Tayel Dickerson. I graduated from Harvard, class of 2022. I attend Delgado to be an ultrasound tech. What was the other question? My son, his name is Wes. He's 13 months, and that was it. That was all the questions, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That was everything. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you guys are here. All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with Generation Hope, so our mission is we really want to ensure all student parents have the opportunities to succeed in experience economic mobility in the long term. So in order to do that, we engage education and also policy partners to drive change that is systemic. And we also directly provide resources to teen parents in college. So Treasurer Tayel, and then also through their children through holistic 2-generation program. So where did Generation Hope come from? So this woman right here is our founder and CEO. Her name is Nicole Lewis. And this is a picture of her when she had just walked across the graduation stage at the College of William and Mary. And this is her little girl, Narissa, who was 3 months old when her mom first went to college. Hey, Grace. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you want to say hi real quick? We're doing a recording. We don't have any live audience members, but we're going to record as if we have a live audience. And so Treasure and Tayel just shared their name, where they're going to school, what they're studying, and then just a little bit about their family.
Okay. Grace Thompson, class of 2015, Abramson Academy. I currently attend Southern New Hampshire, getting a bachelor's in communications. I have 3 sons, 2 on the spectrum. That's it.
Thank you so much. And you were on the other side of this call last year, so you remember what it was like to be to be here. So just a little bit more about our founding story. So having put herself through college and really doing it on her own with her child, Nicole experienced firsthand a lot of the barriers to college completion. And so she decided there needs to be an organization that's out there that's working to knock down those barriers and pave the way for young parents to earn their college degrees, knowing that with a college degree, parents are much better able to get that economic long-term sustainability. So in 2023, we launched here in New Orleans. So the women you're looking at right now are some of our very first scholars. And we currently serve 25 scholars, 22 are moms, 2 are dads, and then 1 is a non-binary parent. And we are really excited because this year we're growing our program. So we are going to be at 35 scholars this time next year. So just a little background on why Generation Hope supports students going to college. So number 1 is the earning potential if you have a college degree. So we know that people with bachelor's degrees, 4-year degrees, on average earn $1 million more over their lifetime than those who have a high school diploma. Number 2, people with college degrees are going to have higher employment rates, so they're going to be more likely to be employed than those without college degrees. And then we also know that the types of jobs you get with a college degree are going to typically have higher pay, more likely to have benefits like a 401k, paid time off, and then have also more opportunities for professional growth, promotions, advancement, raises. And then number 3, and I think this is a huge motivator to our current scholars, is really the legacy that leaves for your child. So children of college graduates are much more likely to go to college themselves, which then creates this multi-generational legacy in your family. So a little background on the types of colleges, and we go over this just to make sure kind of people know what we're talking about when we talk about associate's degree, bachelor's degree. So if you look on here, we think about 2-year degrees. So we've got a couple people on the call tonight who are working toward their 2-year degrees. That's an associate degree. 2-year colleges also offer technical diplomas and certificates, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Generation Hope Scholarship is just for degrees. 2-year colleges, so that's like your Delgados, your Nunes, those are open admission. When it comes to campus life, there's not really much, there's no housing on campus. So it's more of a commuter feel, which means then there's a little bit less like programs and social activities, but the cost is significantly lower. So the average cost is about $4,000 per year, and that's before aid. Whereas a 4-year college, the degree you would be earning is a bachelor's degree. A lot of the colleges here in New Orleans are still open admission. So UNO, SUNO, they're considered open admission. They don't have a specific cut score for ACT or GPA in most cases. They have a more robust campus life, right? Because there are dorms, there's often family housing, and then just more programs and social activities, but the cost is higher. So for our public colleges like UNO and SUNO, like I mentioned, that's around $10,000 a year. Whereas for private, like Dillard, Xavier, those are going to be more expensive. So I like to spend a little bit of time explaining the difference between a degree and a certificate or technical diploma. So Generation Hope is supporting students who are in this circle, the degree seekers. So what's the difference between a degree and a certificate or technical diploma? So a degree is, like we said, going to be earned at a 2- or 4-year college. There are 4 types. There's associate's, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degree. And a degree usually takes between 2 and 4 years to complete. And we consider a degree discipline specific, not skill specific. So like English is a degree, biology is a degree. And then you typically need a high school diploma or a HiSET, which is the high school equivalency test, in order to earn your degree in most cases. Whereas a certificate or technical diploma is only earned at a 2-year or a technical vocational school, doesn't take quite as long. So it's often just a few, several months, up to 2 years, but most are several months. And it's for either a statewide or a nationwide credential. So it's not necessarily always transferable state to state. And a lot of them can be earned while you're still in high school. So a lot of, if you guys went to high school, at least Charter and Tayel, while New Orleans Career Center existed. So you probably had classmates that went there in the afternoons or in the mornings and they earned their certificate. Both are a type of credential, and both are often required for specific types of jobs. But just want to make sure that we're really clear today on this session that Generation Hope is supporting students who are working toward their degrees. We also only work with not-for-profit schools. So when you think of a for-profit school, these are going to be, have you guys heard of Full Sail University or Herzing, University of Phoenix, Chamberlain? So those are for-profit schools. And the reason that we don't partner with them is because persistence and completion rates are not as strong at those places. And the way that I kind of like to describe it is like, if you think about, going to your high school and your teachers and your social workers and kind of the way that they interacted with you and treated you. It's very different than when you have to call Cox because your internet is out, or you have to call Verizon about an issue with your cell phone bill, right? They're treating you differently because Cox and Verizon, those are businesses and they think of you as a customer. Whereas like your high school where you had teachers and nurse and social worker and people who really cared about you, they see you as a student and not as a customer. And so that's kind of one of the big differences between when you think about a for-profit college and the experience there versus a not-for-profit. So our three scholars who are on the call today, Treasure, Tayel, Grace, they're all not-for-profits, Delgado, Southern New Hampshire. Most colleges you think of when you think of colleges in New Orleans tend to be not-for-profit. But if you ever have questions, you can let us know. Thanks for adding your notes in the chat, you guys. Okay, so we're going to go into some depth here about the Scholar Program. And since we're not going to have Q&A, since we don't have live audience members, this is where I'm going to occasionally ask you guys to come off mute to add any information that's helpful that you like speaks to your own experience. So this is what our scholars receive in the Generation Hope program. So first is tuition assistance. So we award a scholarship of $1,200 a year to our 2-year college students and $2,400 a year to our 4-year college students. And so like Treasure said in the beginning, I'm at Delgado now, but I want to switch to Suno. That means that her scholarship would double because there's a bigger scholarship awarded for 4-year college students. And it's every year up until you graduate. Our scholars also receive emotional support from a mentor. So each scholar is matched one-to-one with a caring adult who's a little bit older than them, who volunteers and is really there to kind of be their like big sister, their cheerleader, their auntie, somebody who's really able to provide that emotional support. And then they also have a hope coach. So that's me and then my colleague Mike, whose picture was on the beginning screen. And our job is to provide the emotional support, but even more concrete support as well. So academic support, helping you sign up for your classes, helping you draft emails to a professor if you're struggling with a grade, helping you write a satisfactory academic progress appeal if your financial aid is in jeopardy. And then also with things that affect your ability to parent. So, access to emergency funding or help finding a new place to live if your housing falls through. So that's kind of the big, I think both of those fall under the big umbrella of emotional support. And then, like I said, we have access to crisis assistance and emergency funding. It's as needed, up to $1,000, up to once a year. We provide career readiness programming, which we're going to continue to build out as New Orleans becomes a more established site. And then we do offer mental health services. So our scholars are able to get free therapy sessions through Whole Village Art Therapy. And then we also do in-service trainings and offer like parenting skill trainings, life skills trainings. And then we also do fun stuff. So twice a year, our scholars get to go shopping for wish list items, which is just necessary items for the household. We do a big holiday gift giving during December, and then there's social activities. So we just had a fun little, actually all three of them were at our We Play event on Saturday, got to spend some time playing with other babies and meeting other moms. We're going to do a field trip in a couple of weeks to NOLA Kids Ground. So we try to really have the community kind of be the foundation of everything that's happening within the program. So all of these little things you get, like tuition assistance is nice. That's great. It's great that we get a free therapist. But what I think is the biggest benefit is really that like community. So I would just love for Treasurer Tayel, Grace, if you guys have anything you want to add to this, that just kind of speaks to your experience with these pieces of the program.
One thing I would like to add is, it's nice being around other teen moms who like have the same experience as I do. or who once were teen moms and are trying to get their degree while balancing parenting and stuff. So it really just opens you up to like build these more relationships with people that you can actually relate with.
Thank you.
It's a little loud, but I want to pick up on it because it's a little different. I find it like family wise with these girls because of course you have your outside friends, but your outside friends are not always teen moms, and it's not always going through what you're going through being a teen mom. It's easier for them, but when you being around everybody and connecting with everybody, you realize like, dang, we all go through the same thing, probably different ways. We all connect the same way and we all kind of feel the same way about certain situations because we're going through it together. And I kind of like that I have people around me who are trying just as much as I am.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Treasure and Tyel. I think one of the most important things to me though is the staff. The staff has been like extraordinary. They have been some of the best people I've met in the last year and like just supporting us in every way. The way they've matched us up with the mentors and like very specific to the things that we ask for, we need. If things aren't going ways that we want them to go, like they're gonna find a way to help us, get things right on the back, get things back on the right track. So I really appreciate that. And then everything on the screen, like it's true for real. Like I have gotten things on the wish list. I've gotten access to, emergency funding. I have a therapist now because of them. Like they are really doing some good work.
You guys. All right, I'm going to go to the next slide, which is scholar eligibility. So who is eligible? Oh, look who's on this slide. So cute. This is Tyel and her mentor, Nyla, who is one of our younger mentors. Also just finished, you can see her little HBCU made. She just finished her degree at Dillard last year. So when we get a little farther, I'd love for you guys to talk about your mentors also. But eligibility looks like being a teen parent. So we define that as either like pregnant or expecting by 19 or younger. And again, we're open to parents of any gender. And you have to be 25 or younger at the time of application. And I always use Grace as a good example because Grace was 25 when she got the application in. She was 25 when she came to her, or 26, I think, when you came to your first training, right? But she was 25 when she got the application in. So still eligible. And then we are asking that you're either attending or planning to attend. So most of our scholars this year came to us. Some had been to college for a little while, but then left college and we're trying to get back into college. So you don't have to be currently in college. You just have to be planning to go by the fall of 2024. And then again, either a 2 or 4 year college in New Orleans and planning to take at least 6 credits per semester. And then be either a U.S. citizen, permanent legal resident, or have DACA status or another visa status that provides in-state tuition and eligibility. And another cute, look at that. Another cute photo of Grace and her son at our first field trip. So the application is due Monday the 1st. And what's included in the application is there is an essay. It is on the shorter side though. So it's going to ask you about a challenge you've had to overcome and what steps you took to overcome it. And you can get support from CA Next on writing that. So I think Christina at the end is going to talk a little bit about what resources are available to you. But we don't want the essay to be a deterrent. And I know that sometimes people can, especially if you've been out of school a while and you feel kind of rusty on your writing skills. But I'll definitely, after this slide, let Treasurer Tyel and Grace kind of talk about how they approach the essay. But we don't want that to be a deterrent. So if you need support with that, definitely reach out for help. And then you're going to provide us with contact info for one recommender. You don't have to get the recommender to do the contact form. You just need to give us their name and their email. A transcript. So it doesn't have to be an official transcript. And I know that sometimes those can be hard to get our hands on, and sometimes there's a charge associated with it. But if you're coming right out of high school and you've never been to college, we want your high school transcript. If you have been to any college at all, we do need your college transcript because that helps us look right away and see if there's going to be any issues with financial aid or with transferring or anything like that. And we are open to both scholars who have earned their high school diploma and those who have earned their HISA, or what used to be called the GED. And then you also provide your proof of identity as well as an emergency contact and the information, your children's information, their birthdays and gender. And then once it's received, PIA is the person who will be reaching out to you to schedule your interview. And then we will be notifying applicants of their status by June. And then the program, it says July, but we actually got the date. It's June 29th is the day of our first mandatory training. Okay, so here's just a little bit about the impact we've had. So our scholars, so our minimum requirement is that they maintain a GPA of 2.5 or higher each semester, and 75% of our scholars are able to do that. When we look at our graduates, so in 2021, 89% of them were employed full-time or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. So that kind of second piece of our mission is really being lived out. When it comes to retention, 90% of Generation Hope scholars do stay in college and in our program year over year. This is the one we're probably the most proud of. Generation Hope scholars are 8 times more likely to earn a degree within 6 years than single mothers are across the nation. Kind of in line with our 2021 graduates' employment status, 89% of them also reported an income level above the federal poverty line within 6 months of graduating. And I think this number is probably a little bit higher now, but we have seen over 140 degrees earned since we began in 2010. Okay, so this would be a great time for Christina, for you to either lob questions at us that you think candidates might have, or we can also spend a little bit of time, since we didn't talk about the mentor piece yet, you guys, Tyel, Treasurer, Grace, kind of sharing like what's that been like, since we got to hear a little bit about staff, and it would be good to hear about mentors too.
Yeah, I'm going to just put some hours in the chat. I'll also include it, and then I'm going to say it for the recording, that we are currently holding 3 one-hour spots where all of the CA Next advisors will be available to support any interested applicants in completing the essays, so that that's not a barrier. Currently, we have March 5th, March 19th, and March 29th leading up to the deadline. But obviously, if anybody wants or needs more time, we can do that on a one-on-one basis. And I definitely have some questions that I imagine a lot of students would ask. But I would first love it if y'all could definitely talk a little bit about like how the matching process with your mentors worked out, what that relationship has been like. How often do y'all meet? Like, what has been the most valuable part of having that relationship?
I want to go first. My mentor is Nala Starks. Hold on 1 second, because they're so loud. Okay, my mentor is Nala Starks. They really matched her well. She matches my energy so much. So yeah. Okay, she matches my energy so much. We have been through like similar stuff. When I do talk to her about, things that I'm going through, she's always like, oh, I remember a time that I went through it. And she's always giving me like how she handled it and stuff like that. She's always listening to me. She's always like, even though sometimes I can be so dramatic about the situation, she's always like making sure she like, yeah, your feelings are valid, but don't you think you're being a little. So she really matches well. We don't meet a lot, and that's because our schedules doesn't really match with each other. I mostly worked around night. She's a teacher, so she works in the morning, and I usually do a lot of evening shifts. But we're trying, but we do talk every day, so that makes up for it. We get on the phone a lot, and we'll sit and talk for hours. I remember one time we sat on the phone and talked to like 11, just running it with catching up and stuff, just to make up for us not meeting up because our schedules doesn't match, which is okay. Just build that relationship with your mentor, if you know your schedule wouldn't match because you're trying to manage work, parent life, and school at the time, you build that relationship and you talk every day, and all of that makes up, because mostly you don't have to see someone in person to have a connection, but when you do, it'll be better if you build it through communicating.
I can go
Ma'am.
next. Um, I think what I like most about my mentor is just her understanding nature. I'm very chill and laid back, and she's pretty much the same way. But like when we're together, it's no problem with us like just talking about anything. Everything just flows naturally. Um, she also has a son on the spectrum as well, so that was just like a huge plus for me because she's, a little older and things like that. And I just feel like there is certain things that she's been able to maneuver and navigate that I'm still trying to like figure out. Um, and then sometimes it can go the other way where I've also been through a situation and then she can take what I have done or the resources that I have and stuff like that. So it's just a really cool experience. We don't see each other that much or talk that much, but we do make it a point to meet once a month. And it is because we're both super busy. Like she's a professor and then I work a full-time job. I have 3 kids. I'm doing all these other things. So I mean, I would love to see her more, but I'm fine with the way it is. As long as we see each other once a month, I'm good. So
I can relate to what Grace is saying about how we may not see each other a lot, but we still, make that time to talk to each other and just make sure we know what's going on in each other's lives. She's really understanding, and I feel like I could talk to her about anything. Um, yeah, that's the best part of having a mentor.
What do y'all, or how would y'all advise someone who is interested and who does fit the criteria for like the age requirements and all those things, but maybe is like deep in the trenches and, has an infant and there's a lot going on? What advice would you give them on taking the time to apply and what it takes to apply and what will come after if they can power through?
I could go again. I think honestly, just buckling down, finding a time to just do the application and just get it done. So whether that's like late at night or one of the session times that you guys have, put to the side and things like that, if they need help with the essay, finding like the time and the space to do so, but just like really just doing it. I know it's easier said than done, but once you get it done, everything else will fall in line. Like I didn't even realize what I had in store when I did the application. Like I did the application like a day before the deadline because I was unsure with my age. I'm like, okay, I'm 25 right now, but the deadline, my birthday is like on the 15th. And so once I got the go ahead, the green light to just do it, I did it the day before. And like I said, I never would have imagined the people that I've met, fellow scholars, mentors, just everybody, like the resources. It's amazing, honestly. So just encouraging them to just do it.
I didn't want to pick up what Grace said. Don't feel bad because I was one of those ones that were like deep in the trenches. I procrastinated so bad. I think I did mine. I want to say after the deadline. I don't remember when I did it, but I know I didn't do it on time because it was more of like, do I really want to do this? Do I really have time for all this? My son was probably still newbornish around the time, so it was more like, oh my God, I'm a new mom. Then I'm about to go into college. It's just a lot. But I definitely say find what you're comfortable with majoring in first. Make sure that's what you want to do and go for it.
Hey, y'all, I think Marquisha called. I think she had you on the phone and you guys called me together and we talked about the essay. Like, I think she was like, can you just tell her to do it?
That was it. It was more of the essay part. And I was like, I don't want to write no essay. I just want to do it. Was a lot.
Treasure, is there anything you want to add? You don't have to. Otherwise I'll ask another question. Appreciate both of those answers. Well, all of the answers are really amazing. What do y'all talk a lot about, like, having not really fully understanding like all amazing benefits and things like that. How do you think your current experience in school would be different if you didn't have this support system?
I'll go first. I was actually in college before I had my baby, but I was pregnant, so it was harder trying to manage all these things, and then I couldn't properly communicate for myself that I needed to withdraw from classes, or that I needed accommodations because of my pregnancy. I had a high risk pregnancy, and so I ended up withdrawing. But I feel like if I would have had Generation Hope, I would have had that support I needed to talk up for myself and say what I need. And so I think I definitely have benefited from that just always having that support and know that I have someone to talk to and that can help me and guide me and tell me what to say and how to write these letters and write these emails.
I
Okay.
definitely agree. I've done the college thing multiple times. I actually have an associate's already, but it took me 4 years just to get my associates, because I've had, multiple kids in the midst of it and things like that. But I feel like if I had Generation Hope from the start, like I would have been got my bachelor's by now. Like just because there is so much support and just knowledge within Generation Hope. Like she said, people telling you like exactly what you should write in these emails because it's a lot of things that you don't know, like fresh going into college, how to ask for certain accommodations or what classes to pick and things like that. So yeah, it would have made a difference.
Okay. So right before I started, I was supposed to attend UNO first, but I was pregnant like during the orientation part. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in distress. Once I went in there and I was listening and stuff, and one of the girls, I really don't remember her, but she was so real with me. She was like, listen, you might want to switch to online because these professors don't care. All they care about is getting your work done, blah, 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 stuff like that. And it was just a lot. So I was in distress and I didn't go. I ended up just dropping out. But then if I would have had that Generation Hope, they gave me the encourage to go. They were just like, if you need help, we got you. Like, if you need the support, we have you. So they mostly gave me the courage to actually want to do it.
Lindsay, are there any other questions or like common trends that have come across as you've like talked about these things that maybe one of our participants could share like their own point of view upon and just clear up a couple of things?
Yeah, I was thinking it might be helpful just to kind of talk through like what your experience was after you applied. Like, do you remember the interview? Is there any notes you want to share about like your experience with the interview or even just like the first training you did? So people kind of know what to expect after they apply.
Okay. I remember my interview. It got very emotional with me because it was a few questions that were asked and then it was mostly the follow-up question, and I'm a very emotional person, and it made me very teary-eyed But I feel like just be real with yourself. To be like, just be real with yourself. Don't try to hold anything back because that's gonna hold you back. What else? It wasn't really no hard questions. It was mostly straightforward questions. The questions are mostly about you. So if you know you, don't lie because it just makes no sense about like just tell the truth.
So my interview was like she said is questions like to try to get you to be vulnerable, but it's only like that so they could know like to see the real person that you are, and if that you will be a good fit for Generation Hope. So I feel like they may not everyone may not be a good fit, but they ask those questions just to know like if you actually benefit from the program. And they're so sweet when they're interviewing you. They don't press you to answer something that you don't want to answer, but they're going to try their best to get you to feel comfortable and just open up.
I didn't know if that was going to be a useful question or not, but you guys said really helpful things. So thank you.
Okay. I wanted to add something. It was on one of the slides, the academic probation. I know like a lot of people like be like, oh, they're like when they see it or stuff, they're gonna have questions. I was one of the persons who was placed on academic probation. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like bad for failing because I did fail one of my classes. That just was a lesson learned for me because I didn't ask for help. When I knew I needed help, I waited until the last minute. So I say once you know you need help, like once you start that class, you read that syllabus and you see like, oh, this is going to be a challenge for me, get the help early. Don't do what I did and wait it late. If you do fail, don't feel bad. You can always retake the class. But just make sure you ask for help. And academic probation is not that bad because I'm doing better now. Like that made me do better. So I have like all A's in the C now, but I'm doing better. So just don't be afraid to fail and don't be embarrassed about it. Everybody, they fail, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I hadn't even thought about talking about that, but it is the goal of academic probation is to get you back to where you want to be, to really not to make you feel bad or to punish you, but really to figure out like, okay, what went wrong? Where can we do better next time? And to get you the grades that you want so that you can get the degree you want on the timeline.
So then a clarifying question, if a student is or attended like maybe a semester or a year and is on academic probation, they can still apply. That is not something that will
Oh, yeah. And Tayel was talking
eliminate
about
them.
academic probation with Generation Hope.
Oh,
So, yeah, so we do take so more than anything, what we see isn't even like I don't know if colleges and universities are really calling it academic probation anymore, but a lot of our scholars like might come to us and say like, well, I dropped out of all of these classes and I didn't really understand that was going to mean I had an issue with my financial aid. So what we do is like that has no bearing on their standing with us. You can have a issue with your satisfactory academic progress and we'll still bring you in because we look at your GPA and stuff like that, but the interview is really where we're making the decision about whether, like Treasure said, you're going to benefit from the program. And if we think you're going to benefit from the program, just because your history with school might have been a little bit rocky, we don't want to discount you. Like we want to learn who you are. We want to give you the opportunity. So if you come and you have one of those issues, like we're going to help you, write the SAP appeal. We're going to help you like really figure out like, how do you make a schedule so that you're not taking all of these hard classes at once so that you can feel some success and get some progress with your GPA and with your, I think they call it your pace, your clock. Is there anything else you guys think would be helpful for a person who's considering Generation Hope to know that we didn't cover?
I don't really know like what like everybody have listen. my first time, my mind wandered a lot. But I really just say, if you do consider coming, welcome to the family. And everybody's so friendly, so don't feel out of place. Because I did feel out of place at first, and I felt like I wasn't going to fit in. But I promise you'll fit in. And I promise you'll find someone that's going exactly what you're going through, and you're going to connect so well.
I don't have anything to add. I think that y'all did a great job with giving all the information. It's a lot to take in, but if you actually like take it all in seriously, you'll realize that this is a really good program and it really could just change your life.
But actually, like a quick question, and this might be a good way to close us out. How would y'all feel, or how have you felt that your families and your friends have reacted to seeing where you started to where you are now? Like with that support, how has that support with Generation Hope either like spread to your other circles, or how do they perceive y'all's growth so far?
It's just been
Okay.
very positive. Oh, my bad.
You go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. It's just been real positive. I feel like everybody that knows that I'm, doing this program, it's still a lot of people that don't know, to be honest. But it's for me to know and them to find out. But it's no secret, honestly. I do take every opportunity that I can to spread it. So if someone doesn't know, they just don't talk to me that often. But everybody's been very supportive. My family, my friends, and then just also, like I said, spreading it and getting other people to join. So that's kind of like what I've been doing, low key recruiting. So it's been good.
Same thing. My friends, they don't have kids. I'm the only friend with a kid, but they're very supportive and they're always rooting for me. When they call me and they doing schoolwork, it's always bye, call me when you're done. And then they're always like they always want to see my grades to make sure I'm doing okay. So my best friend is my son's nanny, and she always comes and get him so I can do my schoolwork and stuff like they want to see me succeed.
That is so awesome. Your friends sound amazing, Tayel. I've heard you talk about them before and like how you guys support each other. I really love that. That was a good question, Christina. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I know it's a little awkward without a real audience, but you did great. And I appreciate you speaking from the heart and sharing your experiences and just taking time out of your very busy schedule. So thank you guys. I owe you a big one and I really appreciate you. And thank you, Christina, for making this happen.
Thank you all. I'll share out the video and hopefully we'll share with lots of students. And if anybody does want to potentially reach out to either one of you, is that okay if we share contact information? Is that okay with y'all? Great. And
I
yeah,
I can ask Treasure the same question too, since we lost her. And since you mentioned helping recruit, you guys, for every person you refer who does an application to Generation Hope, you get a little $10 gift card. So keep them coming.
thank you so much, everybody. This was so great. And just for the record, as somebody who's over 35 and just has one, I have the most utmost respect for the three of you and everything that you're doing. It is hard, but y'all are killing it, and I'm very, very just in admiration. So keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.